talking. Not go.
I was just going to say, my day is absolutely ridiculous today. So in BC here, it's 10 a.m.
Yeah.
Already,
so your day's just getting started.
My day is just getting started. I just drove the kids to daycare and day camp, of course, because it's weekend or summer. And I just,
What day is it? It's Friday.
It's Friday. Yes, it is Friday. But you know what? It's not really a Friday. I like Friday.
No, it doesn't matter when you're a realtor, right? Every day is a work day.
My busiest days. So today's kind of like it's almost like my Monday today. Anyways, I'm looking at my schedule and I'm probably not going to be done. I'm going to be nonstop throughout the day until about 9:30 or 10 tonight.
That's good. So you've got someone to pick up the kids and all that. They're not going to be in daycare till then, are they?
No, I've made plans for today. Yes, to have my offspring's picked up.
Yeah, I've got a couple of appointments this afternoon too. So yeah. So today we're going to be talking about some tips that we have for people that want to get into the real estate business, and especially if you're a mom looking to get into the real estate business. And it's something that you have to juggle. Being a realtor who is on call and on demand and scheduling appointments and also doing all your marketing and all your research and keeping up on housing markets and what's happening and all that other good stuff. So, So, if you could say anything, what would be your first tip, Fain, for somebody?
So, first and foremost, and I think that this is important no matter who you are. I think it's to find a mentor or find some kind of person who inspires you. Almost like see if you can either find somebody online, like how we do with Tom Ferry. I mean, we coach, of course, with Tom Ferry, and that's who inspires us. But I also think it's really important to find somebody who's local.
Somebody in your office. Even somebody in your office.
Somebody in your office, whether that be like a managing broker or, a team leader, but somebody who can really spend some one-on-one time with you to not only show you how to, learning like the contracts and the business side of things, or sorry, I should say like the legalities of certain types of things. That's one side of the business, but there is also,
I would say a team. Join a team. I think if I was going to start over again, I would join a team.
Yeah.
And I would pick one that is doing very well, and I would learn the basics from them.
100%.
So if I could do it all over again, that's what I would do. The other thing I would do is I would definitely interview with different brokerages and different firms and find out what they have to offer. And I think the training is really key when you're looking at where you want to get started and where you want to build your roots.
And every different brokerage is going to have their own forte, right? Like there's some brokerages that are, they're not meant to take in brand new realtors and kind of start them from the ground up. They're more for established agents, I guess you could say. And then there's some brokerages that really have built their brand and their whole structure on bringing in new agents and really focusing on how can we get these new agents into the business and how can we get them trained and how can we show them how to work the business and, because there's the legality side of things and then there's the business side of things, right? And both of those two things are very important.
Well, yeah, it's really important to have a brokerage that has your back, right?
Absolutely.
Business and you need somebody that's willing to be there and be on call for you. The other thing I think is if you do choose a brokerage that there's certain things you like about it, but maybe the training is lacking, then I would definitely say getting a business coach is something that's very beneficial and can get you on the right path. And I think you need to work the people that you know. Right. So that would be another tip is, don't be afraid to get on the phone, make those calls to your people. I know a lot of times realtors think that, it's hard to ask their friends and family, who might need their assistance or their services. But really and truthfully, that is the bread and butter of our business, right? We need to be able to ask them.
Yeah. And just don't be a secret agent, right? Like let people know inadvertently, whether it be through social media or through mail or through, car advertising or bus, like everybody finds what works for them as far as letting everybody know that you're a realtor. And
that's right. What works for one realtor doesn't work for another, right? Like I know.
Oh, absolutely.
Starting out, find your niche, right? So for me, I'm really good face to face and getting in front of my clients and having visits with them and that kind of thing. Other people are really good at open houses or, talking to complete strangers and soliciting for business that way, whether it be through making phone calls or door knocking, those kinds of things, right? So don't be afraid that, what works for one person doesn't work for another. Another thing that I don't want to forget is that, there's enough business out there for all of us. Right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree with you. And a lot of people, I think, especially with like densely populated areas, that one realtor kind of has, kind of taken over, so to speak. And we call that geographic farming or geographic farms. And, if one person, like there can be more than one person that has, a good portion of the market share. And like you said, there's enough business out there for everyone. And one realtor might not be the right fit for that person, right? So it is good to have the variety. And, the saying, find your tribe, that's like, there's a lot to be said for that, for sure.
Yeah. And I think another thing that's important, especially if you're getting started, is keep yourself educated. Our real estate boards do a great job of allowing us the opportunity to have different training sessions throughout the year. So I think it's very beneficial to dive in deep on that stuff and try to learn your face off as much as you can.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Whether that be, with new rules and regulations that are being implemented, or even if that's just knowing your market, get on the hot sheets every day, see what's sold, see what's active.
That's right.
Compare it to 1 year ago, right? Like do your research, know your market, figure out your niche and know your market extremely well. And honestly, knowing the stats, knowing your numbers, that's going to give you the confidence to answer all those questions when anybody throws it at you.
That's right. And I think if you're a mom, I think, you have to have resources available to you that if you need to work on the fly that you can. I think once you get established, then you can sort of tailor your time management a little bit different. Yes. One thing I learned very early in from a seasoned agent when I first started was to run your business around your life, no, sorry, I got that wrong. So run your life around your business. No,
you had it right.
Run your business around your life, not your life around.
Yes.
Right. So that was always a philosophy I grabbed hold of and sort of lived by that when I was working, because it spoke a lot of truth to me, especially because when I got in this business as a single mom, it was very challenging to me. And sometimes you get bullied by other agents, sometimes you get bullied by clients, and never let somebody get in the way of, those kinds of things when you have family responsibilities and things like that. So if you have somebody that you can tie into that can help you out with, if you got to go somewhere on the fly, which is often what we, have happen, but setting boundaries, I guess that's where it comes down to too, around all of that. That's really key. So,
resonating, if there's one thing that actually, honestly, that I could take as advice, best piece of advice is what you just said, run your business around your life. Like there's so much truth to that. And I wish somebody had told me that when I first started, because when I first started, I didn't have any kids and I was, I did this 24/7 and that was okay because I had the drive and the energy for it. And I think the biggest, one of the biggest challenges that I've faced is, going from being able to work 24/7 to all of a sudden now having a baby. And then that was life-changing. And then you kind of, get used to that. And then having another baby and that was life-changing. And now I have two and I'm like, oh my gosh, right now, husband and two babies, right? Like, and it's, and I think, not even realizing it, I've actually been modifying my business around my life now, because so much of my business involves my kids. Like I do, you know, children's events in my neighborhood and I bring my kids along and I just meet people. And honestly, like that's worked amazingly well. And most of my family or my clients are young families as well too. So if they have babies, then hey, I'll bring the baby. They can both sit in their little chairs and stare at each other while we're doing the showing. It's great.
Well, and I think one other thing too, a lot of people, and I struggled with this a long time myself, is balance, right? Finding balance. And
Yes.
everyone used to say, oh, do this and do that. And, you know, you'd hear different business coaches say, do this, do that. And finally, I heard one say one day, there'll never be any balance. And it was like, thank you.
Right.
Thank you. Somebody honestly said the truth here that
yeah, I know.
Balance, but, you know, you try to, again, work your business around your life.
Yep.
You know, there's certain pluses and advantages to being an entrepreneur, and then, you know, the other spectrum too is that, you know, there are great demands, and it's a constant working.
Absolutely. And I think, you know, striving for all of, like, I think in the past too, like a lot of the coaching that I had before, you know, this is when I first came into business, right? A lot of influence was all male based, and they don't, you know, it's just, I mean, I'm not saying that there's not single dads out there. There's not dads that are very involved. Of course they are, but it's very different. I think, you know, being a mom on that side of things. And, you know, they're always like, oh yeah, find the balance. And you feel like such a failure when you don't feel like it. Like, gosh, you know, I'm really trying hard to find friggin' balance here, and it just is not happening. What am I doing wrong? Am I failing something? No, you're not, mom. You know, like there's never going to be a perfect balance, and you just have to, you know, just do your best and just understand that sometimes you're going to be more family, you know, heavy, and other times you're going to be more business heavy, and that's just kind of the way that the business goes.
Well, and even if you're not in real estate, you know what? That's life.
Totally,
right?
man. Yeah.
That's life. So I'm gonna end us on this one last piece of advice that I'm gonna give, and you may have one too, is that I learned a long time ago from some of my senior agents, never get attached to the outcome.
Ah, yes. 100%. Holy moly. Yeah. Never get attached to the outcome. Yeah. So, things can change all the time, and you just got to be okay with that. You got to, like, hey, things are fluid, right? And that's just how it goes.
Yep, that's right. All right. Well, thanks, guys. Thanks for watching.
Thanks, everyone.
If you guys have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us. Just post a comment below, and we'll get back to you. Lots of love.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.